Okay, let's get into it. Helping your teen navigate social media, identity, limits, and what is age appropriate. Written on November 19th, 2025. Okay, so this is part 2 in the Reset and Reconnect series from DK Evolving. From resetting to real life navigation. In part 1, we talked about resetting your teen's relationship with social media, slowing down, building awareness, and centering connection over control. This follow-up is about what happens next, how social media influences identity formation, warning signs to watch, and how to help your teen use it in healthier, more grounded ways. And if you're working with or raising younger children, this still matters because much of what protects teens online starts with how we teach regulation, empathy, and connection early on. How social media shapes teen identity. Adolescence is when identity and belonging take center stage. Teens ask, who am I? Where do I fit? What do others see me as? Social media adds an entirely new layer to this process. Platforms create constant, and I mean constant, feedback loops. Likes, comments, followers that can amplify comparison, validation seeking, and self-presentation. A recent study found that higher person-level social media use in early adolescence, ages 9, 10, and onwards, was associated with greater depressive symptoms 1 year later. According to the APA, social media isn't inherently harmful or beneficial. Its impact depends on individual traits, context, and platform design. That's a really important one. A 2024 study found that adolescents who show more addictive behaviors around social network use are more likely to experience psychosocial health problems. In short, social media can strengthen identity when used intentionally with support, but it can also confuse or distort identity when use is unmanaged, frequent, or lacks support. When to worry. It is normal for teens to pull away sometimes, get moody after scrolling, or spend more time online. That doesn't automatically mean alarm bells should ring. But experts suggest watching for patterns that may signal social media is taking a toll. Red flags to watch for. Increased irritability, withdrawal, or sadness after using apps, secretive behaviors, hidden accounts, reluctance to share activity, obsessing about likes, followers, body image, or appearance in relation to social media feedback, sleep disruption, for instance, time online, negatively impacting sleep length or quality, loss of interest in offline activities they once enjoyed, sports, friendships, hobbies, ongoing anxiety or depressive symptoms that seem tied to online experience. When these patterns persist, steer toward curiosity-based engagement. I've noticed you seem more drained after being online. What's been feeling off lately? That invites dialogue instead of escalating conflict. What parents can do that actually helps. Okay, you can't remove every online stressor, but you can anchor your teen by building strong protective factors: connection, trust, self-awareness. Here are practical evidence-informed steps. Number 1, stay curious before setting rules. Ask what they like about specific apps and why. What needs are being met? Connection, creativity, escape? When you understand that, boundaries become collaborative instead of imposed. The APA emphasizes that guidance around social media should be individualized, shaped by each teen's personality, maturity, and environment. Number 2, collaborate on boundaries and routines. The American Academy of Pediatrics recommends creating a family media plan together, designating device-free times, meals, bedtime, and agreeing on consistent rules. Designate screen-free zones or times, example, dinner table, 1 hour before bed, and agree on nighttime curfews or device removal from the bedroom. Number 3, strengthen offline identity and belonging. When teens develop skills, interests, and friendships outside of screens, their sense of self becomes less tethered to social media metrics. Encourage extracurriculars, volunteering, hobbies, part-time work. Ask which part of that activity made you feel most like you. Number 4, model digital balance. Teens watch what you do more than what you say. This is not the first time I've said this. Narrate when you're scrolling out of habit and choose something else instead. I'm going to put my phone aside and read. Show regulated behavior with your devices in meals, bedtime, and conversation. Maintain open, non-judgmental communication. Create home space where they feel safe sharing when something online bothers them. Drama, image pressure, unwanted messages. The U.S. Surgeon General emphasizes that strong family and adult relationships are protective even when screen time is high. Please don't miss that. I'm going to say it again. Strong family and adult relationships are protective even when screen time is high. Okay, so here's a good question. What is an age-appropriate age for social media? And guess what? There's no perfect magic number. But research and best practice suggest a cautious readiness-based approach rather than age alone. So the AAP suggests waiting until at least 13 for full social media account. And even then, only if the teen demonstrates maturity. The APA emphasizes that readiness, which would look like self-regulation, honesty, emotional maturity, matters more than chronological age. Gonna say that one again. Readiness matters more than chronological age. Okay, so when I was researching this, I had to play, the other side and ask and wonder, is there a detriment to delaying social media for children? And what the research says is, honestly, it's not really shown significant harm from delaying social media use. There simply is not strong evidence that delaying negatively impacts teen social life. So in other words, there's no research showing that waiting is harmful. It's simply a cautious, developmentally informed way to protect mental health and support readiness. This was important to me because I feel like a lot of times I hear kids argue that they feel left out and it hurts their social life. And while I do think that that is fair feelings from them, I really do think that in this case, delaying would be better for their mental health, which is obviously what I care about the most. And if all of us could get on board with this, then there wouldn't be any comparison. There wouldn't be a kid in 5th grade with an iPhone. There wouldn't be social media in middle school. It just wouldn't be a thing. So food for thought on that one. Here's a suggested approach for families. Again, everything I say is general. I do not know your specific family and the unique needs of your family and your children. So this is a general guideline. Please do not run with this. Do your own research, have these conversations, reach out to a professional if you need guidance with this on what you should do. So let's look at this suggestion and realize it is just a suggestion. You are allowed to operate your family how you operate it. So, okay, under age 16, let's consider delaying full access to social media platforms. Focus instead on supervised, limited experiences, so messaging known peers, family monitored content. That's for under 16. 13 to 15 years old. If social media is introduced, do so collaboratively. Follow their account with their knowledge. Don't try and do it secretively. Set up, review discussion times. Keep devices outside of bedroom at night. Use parental control tools. There are so many tools out there. I totally remember sneaking a MySpace account when I was in middle school. My mom always did find out, but I would never be able to get away with that now. So after 16, shift towards supporting autonomy and digital literacy, helping your teen reflect on how they use apps, what they post, how content makes them feel, and how it aligns with their values. If this is a constant place of friction with you and your teenager, is there anyone else that communicates this to them? So my thought being an older cousin who maybe had an experience with this. Maybe an older cousin had a harmful experience with Snapchat. Maybe she got bullied. Maybe she sent a picture of herself that was inappropriate. Fill in the blank. Is there someone else that can tell your kid this where they will listen and not get defensive? And that's okay. It's okay to use these resources. If your kid's like, blah, 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 I'm not listening to you, is there an aunt or a coach or someone else that can also convey the message and the importance of digital safety? Because guys, it is crazy out there. Okay, so if you're going to use some parental control tools, which I recommend, again, depending on the kid's age and all that stuff, use well-known apps, platforms such as Bark, Custodio, Apple Screen Time, Google Family Link, or Canopy to set time limits, supervise usage, review content patterns, and maintain transparent communication. The key: these tools support dialogue, not replace it. Don't just police your kid. Be in active dialogue with them, active communication with them. Okay, I was really excited about this one. Does Snapchat count as social media? In short, yes, it does. But Snapchat is complicated because even though Snapchat feels more like messaging, it operates on the same social media principles. quick dopamine feedback, social comparison, and the pressure to stay connected. Features like snap streaks, location sharing, Snap Map, I still cannot get around the fact that kids are doing that, and disappearing messages can make it especially addictive and harder for teens to step away. Like, no one needs to know your location besides your parents. That is ridiculous. That is my hot take. Research shows that apps designed for immediate reward and constant engagement, like Snapchat and TikTok, two apps that I will proudly say I do not have, are linked to higher rates of compulsive use and emotional reactivity. That doesn't mean Snapchat is inherently bad, but it does require the same boundaries as other social platforms. So, no phone in bedrooms overnight. Open conversations about what's shared and who it's shared with. Review of privacy and location settings together. Clear limits around streaks or snap pressure. You can think of Snapchat as a social network that hides in plain sight. It's social media, just wrapped in messaging form. Damn, they're good. So what I say a lot is, let's focus on connection over control. Social media is not going anywhere. I'm not an idiot. But your influence and connection still matters a lot. When you stay curious, build collaborative habits, model healthy use, and help your teen connect their online world back to their real life values, you're not just restricting screen time. You're shaping identity, self-awareness, and resilience, which are skills that will carry them far beyond any app. That is the real reset, and that's the kind of impact you're making. I really am so thankful that you took the time out of your busy day to listen to this. If something in this episode felt helpful or made you think, please pass it along to another parent in your world. Sometimes a small share is really all it takes for someone else to feel a little less alone in this parenting journey. Sharing these episodes or following along really does help me keep creating more of this kind of support for families. You can always find me on Instagram at parentingteengirls_ or over at dkevolving.com. Truly, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for the support.